We will be filming for cable television, the Brattleboro cable television. This is an interactive show, so you might become famous in Brattleboro. It's very exciting. Yeah, at least noteworthy, yes. Number two is I've been doing this show now for the past 10 months, and I've done it here, oh my goodness, several times. But each time the show keeps evolving, the show keeps changing, because the show is called It's a Magical Life. It's not, it was a magical life. So it's constantly evolving. As life happens, the show happens as well. So I thought, as a way to sort of get me warmed up a little bit, and also to get you folks warmed, and also I know there's still some people we're expecting. I would start off with a quick opening act. I'll be the opening act. Do we have any card players here? We have a couple card players over here. Your name, sir? Ron. The most powerful card in a deck of cards. Do you know what it is? The most powerful card?
Ace of Spades?
Ace of Spades. That's what a lot of people say, because the Ace of Spades is the card of death. And death is a very powerful thing. But truthfully, the most powerful card in the deck is not the Ace of Spades. Oh, here it is. It's the Queen of Hearts. Because the Queen of Hearts is the card of love. And you know what they say? Love conquers all. You've seen the trick before. So here's the idea. We're not going to choose the most powerful card in the deck, Rob. Instead, we're going to choose an aspiring leader card. So you can just point to any other card in the deck. What's that, the Jack of Diamonds?
Jack of Diamonds.
The Jack of Diamonds is going to be our aspiring leader, our hero, if you will. Our hero is going to take a little journey. I've been reading Joseph Conrad lately. That's the hero's journey. He's going to go on a journey by disrupting the rest of the cards. Right? So we're taking the cards. It's sort of like the world. Some of the world is upside down. Some of the world is right side up. We're putting half the cards, or approximately half the cards, face up, and approximately half face down. So what we've just done, Rob, I'm going to come close to you so you can see. Some cards are face up, some cards are face down. The idea is we have to use our aspiring leader to fix those cards to be all facing the same way. Again, some cards face up, some cards face down. What was your card again? What card did you choose?
The Jack of Diamonds.
The Jack of Diamonds. Please take your hand, Rob, and wave your hand over.
Oh.
I have the best sound guy in the world over here. Did you just see what happened, Rob?
I think I missed it.
Oh, you missed it. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I think I did, yeah.
This is my first time performing this, so that's okay.
Rob misses lots of things. So
Oh, well, is that true? Friend of yours?
Well, he's my sound guy.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course, you bet.
Yeah.
Well, watch what happens. All in that one little move. You've arranged all the cards now to all face the same way.
Oh, I thought I did that.
You
Yeah,
did?
wasn't
Oh,
quite sure.
except
oh.
for one
I
card.
missed one?
Smack dab in the middle there. One guess, Rob. What card do you think this card is? What card do you think?
The Queen of Hearts.
You have seen the trick before. The most powerful card in the deck. Give Rob a nice big hand. Most people would say the card that you had chosen, which was the Jack of Diamonds. I want to make sure that everyone can see this. Let me come up here to make sure everyone can see what's about to happen, because this is the moment where we realize what's going on here. The most powerful card in the deck, the Queen of Hearts, was able to arrange all the cards to face the same way. The card of love, the Queen of Hearts, the most powerful card, can also help our aspiring leader, the Jack of Diamonds. It's one more hand for Rob. He's doing a fantastic job up here. But now that we understand that love can affect change, when our hero was affected by change, it can change even further. Did you see that, Rob? Not just on the face, but the back of the card as well. And when you would change one, that's when you can affect change in other people as well. The 7 of diamonds can change. The 9 of spades can change. Now all of a sudden, all of these cards can have their true colors shine. Thank you very much. So that's one of the new ones inspired by recent life events. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Rob. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin the show officially. So I'm going to go get the announcer. So to get started, give yourselves a nice big hand for being here. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm going to go get the announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jonas Cain. Thank you for that one.
Thank you for that wonderful round of applause. I appreciate that. I can't wait to see what I'm going to do now. Well, we have a very exciting show for you planned. However, I realize a lot of you perhaps have never seen me before. By show of hands, how many of you have never seen me perform before? Most of you. A few of you have. All right, hands down. Well, I figured as a way for me to get to know you folks, and for you folks to get to know me, because a lot of people don't realize is that if you've only just seen me just now, you might be thinking to yourselves, is this guy going to be any good? It's a common question. But what a lot of people don't realize is I wonder the same thing about all of you. As an audience, are you going to be any good? So as a way for me to get to know you a little bit better, and for me to get to know you and you to get to know me, I would tell you the story of the very first magic show I ever did. And this story is 100% true. I did the show right out of this box. I was just 12 years old. I made it myself. I was in my parents' living room. There was about, 10 or so people, very similar to this. And I had, inside the box, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Now, mind you, I was 12 years old. The cards were big. My hands were small. And I placed 1 card inside of the box. And yet, even though I placed 1 card inside the box, I still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Everyone was so amazed, they threw their hands up in the air and they said, "That's amazing!
That's amazing!
That was beautiful. Give yourself a hand. That was almost in unison. Almost. I noticed that there was a couple of you didn't quite get your hands up in time. I don't blame you. I blame the story. I'm going to engage you one more time with a slightly different story about the very first magic show I ever did. I was just 6 years old. Imagine a 6-year-old me in my parents' living room. There was about 100 people gathered around. My mother was getting nervous. We were starting to run out of chips. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 humongous cards, little 6-year-old hands. And I threw not 1, but 2 cards away inside the box. And yet, even though I placed 2 cards away, I still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, and everyone said, "That's amazing!" All right, most of you. Okay, Russ, poor Russ. Gets his hand up at the last second. We're going to do this one last time for Russ. But this time, a slightly different story. I need to engage you a little bit more. I feel like perhaps you're not getting it completely. I'll tell you a slightly different story about the very first magic show I ever did. I was just 3 years old. Imagine this story is at least 10% true. There was about 1,000 people gathered around in my parents' living room. We ran out of chips. My mother was going crazy. She regretted throwing the party. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 humongous cards, little tiny baby hands, and I threw not 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards away.
That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. That was perfect. But I still had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, and everyone was so amazed when the cards disappeared that they all said, "That's amazing!" Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That story is at least 5% true, at the very least, But it's true, I was just a little boy when I first started to learn magic, which was a huge feat. Because when I was a little boy, I was scared of even my own family. I was incredibly shy. At family parties, I would keep my coat and boots on. I would hide in the stairway and ask my mom, when can we go home? I suppose, though, who isn't a little afraid of their family? So that was my first job in high school, was doing magic shows. However, just recently, this was, it was 10 months ago, the very first day that I performed this show. It was May 21st. I graduated, finally, from college. I was on the 15-year plan. 2 years on, 10 years off, 3 years on. Very, very rare, very rare. So I've been doing magic my entire life, but after graduating from college, I realized something, that it's time to grow up, that it's time to get, as they call, a real job, whatever that is. So I went to the only thing that I knew. Well, of course, they have Craigslist now. They have all those job finders. But I went to the newspapers, and I found some interesting jobs. Some of them I replied to. Some of them I didn't. I'm going to tell you some of the highlights. One of them, this is a fun one. This was a job, let me read this carefully. This was a job as a teacher. I figured I have a bachelor's degree now. I'm qualified to teach. Teaching origami. I've never actually done origami, but you know what they say, if you can't do it, teach it, right? I decided not to take the job, though. Just too much paperwork. There's more like that coming. So then, this is a fun job. There was a job at a fire hydrant factory. I called them up, I got an interview, I drove all the way there. I couldn't find parking anywhere near the place because of all the fire hydrants. It's true, it's true. Oh, here's a fun one. This is a job on a farm. I figured I'm not above being a laborer. I'll work on the farm. But this is a different kind of farm. It was an ant farm. You know, so before I even showed up, they had to close down. They couldn't find tractors small enough to fit inside. Ooh. I didn't get that one. I know, it was very sad. So then there was a job at a, where's that one? I saw that one. Oh, here, a job at a restaurant. It was a new restaurant in Massachusetts called Karma. It was a themed restaurant. What was wrong, the food was great, but the only problem was you don't actually order food there. They just give you what you deserve. Turns out people don't like that. So all of this, none of these jobs worked out. So I thought to myself, why don't I do something that I know? I decided, well, I'll achieve my dream of becoming a stand-up comedian. You know, because I'm so funny.
That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I like your honesty with your silence. We'll remember the silence of our friends. No, actually, what I really decided, though, was instead to become a magician instead, to just keep on doing what I was doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Doing what I truly do best. And what I love about magic so much is it's a lot like comedy. Because the same thing in magic that makes us go, aha, in comedy makes us go, ha ha. Uh-huh. Who said that? You folks are fun. I'm going to show you what I mean in a joke, but then I'll show you what I mean in a magic trick. This was about a week ago. I was at an ATM machine. I was behind the person in front of me. And it was a little frail woman. She looked like she had never used an ATM machine before or just didn't know what to do. So she turned around and she asked me if I would help her check her balance. You know, so me, ever one to want to help. You know, we have to help each other. I said, sure. So I shoved her. She fell right over. Terrible balance. Terrible balance. It's true. It's true. So I figured I'm going to now show you folks this unexpected expectation from magic as well. And I've written a couple books. To do this, we're going to use one of these books. We'll use my first one here. It just happened the other day. A true story of love and loss and inspired hope. Do we have any readers here? Who likes to read? We have one person in the back who's a reader. And I know this guy, Fran. Hi, Fran. Good to see you.
How you doing, Jonas?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much
It's good
for
to finally
coming.
make one of your shows.
I know. You've been saying it for a while.
Well, yeah, it's the Three Rivers. I'm not going to go
Yeah,
to Brattleboro. I'll go there.
There you go. Who doesn't want to go to Brattleboro?
I love Brattleboro.
Right.
Yeah.
So, just so everyone knows, I do know Fran. So, for this trick, is it okay if we use Fran, or do we want to use someone that I don't? I'm going to leave it up to everyone. I want to make sure that you are happy, that you think this is as fair as can be.
He's
Everyone's
Fran.
fine. He's Fran. Fran,
So
Fran,
far,
will
so
you
good.
please join us up here? Give Fran a nice big hand. Please watch your step. You may come right this way.
Okie dokie.
How you been? Good to see you.
Good.
Oh my goodness, we're on the hugs. Of course we are. I feel like this is a reunion.
Yeah.
Have you read this book?
I read a little bit of it.
He's
I
honest.
haven't read. I read the whole thing. No.
You know, it's large print, double space, very easy, very easy. It's a book that I wrote.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote just a second book.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. It's a sequel. No one likes a sequel usually, but in this case, it's actually pretty good. What we're going to do, Fran, is we're going to choose a page.
He's a good writer.
Okay, I appreciate that. He's read a little bit. I'm going to flip through the pages of the book. Wherever you say stop, we're going to put the envelopes inside. We're going to use one of the envelopes in a moment. I'm going to flip through the pages wherever you say stop.
Stop.
Are you happy there? Or do you want to go further or go back?
Am I happy here? Or?
Oh. Precision of language. Are you happy on this page?
Yeah.
You are. I'm going to place the bookmarks in. All right. You are going to keep one of the envelopes because one of the envelopes has something in it for you in
Really?
just a moment.
What about the envelope you mailed me before I came here?
Did I mail you an envelope? You can't do that to me. I confuse easily. I do things and then I forget that I do them. That's why I write books, so I don't forget what I did.
Right. It's a good idea.
It is. Everyone has a story to tell. It's just a matter of telling it. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to look at the first word. Now, mind you, every page in the book says it just happened the other day. So the first word on every page is it. Don't think of the word it.
Not one. Okay.
So you're going to look at the first word of the text, all right? You're just going to, now you're not going to tell me, you won't tell anyone else, but you're going to remember this word. You're going to internalize this word, all right? Take a look. Do not tell me or anyone else. You see
Okay.
it? You got it? So if I ask you later what that word is, you'll be able to tell us?
Yeah.
So I can take the bookmark out?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Yeah, he's still not so
Go
sure.
ahead. You don't trust me, do you?
No, well, I think, I don't know if you trust me. Fran, as unbelievable as this may sound, I hope, that I know what word you're already thinking of before you even thought of the word, because inside of my pocket, before I even came on stage, I placed a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, there is a word. And I'm hoping it's the word that you just randomly, you could have stopped anywhere in the book, right? And every page is different. That's important to know. Every page is different. Not every page, called, who, but, maybe. Every page
All right,
is different.
I believe
That's
you.
important to
Okay.
know. Because some people are going to accuse me of cheating. The secret is I do cheat. I just don't want you to think that I am. Right? I'm an honest man. Yeah, I'm going to take this piece of paper out of my pocket as soon as you say your word. And when you say that word, I'm going to take the paper out, open it up, and show you your word written on that piece of paper. Does that sound amazing?
It sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing!
It also
That's
sounds
amazing.
impossible.
Amazing, but I suppose that's what makes it amazing, right?
You want me to say the word?
Right now, say your word.
Do I get a countdown or a drum roll?
Oh, okay. A drum roll, please.
Down.
Offense, deviate, disadvantage, disapprove, doom. Doom. What does that word say, Fran?
I gotta go get my glasses. It looks like it says down.
Does that say down?
Yeah.
Ladies and
Good
gentlemen,
job.
his word written on this piece of paper.
Good
Oh,
job.
he's so disappointed.
That's so amazing.
Robin's so on. He's like, that's not amazing. You see how they're turning on me, Fran?
Terrible.
It felt like we built a rapport and then I destroyed it. Here, this is why I gave you the envelope. This is my redeeming moment here. This is our moment to shine. Please open up the envelope. Inside
You're
that.
supposed to say, you never put the envelope in your pocket or put it behind your back.
Yeah,
Is
I
your
never
friend?
did any of that. No, he didn't do any of that.
I've been holding it just like that.
He's been holding
Which
it
is
the
true.
whole time. Please open the envelope. You're going to find in there a note card. And on that note card, I have written a word. You see, it's a note card. You can show everyone, tell everyone what that word is, and it says.
It says P86LC E14.
Exactly. That says, it's written in code. It says down,
It says down?
written in code.
Well, there you
It's a
go.
code that only I can understand. But you believe me, right?
I believe you.
Thank you, Fran,
I believe
because
you.
we go way back.
Because we go way back.
No, it really is a code. You see, the P stands for page.
Yeah,
The page is 86.
yeah.
Page 86.
Left column.
column. Entry 14. Hold on to this for a moment. We open this up to your word. It's still open. What page is it open to?
Page 86.
Is this the word in the left column?
It's in the left column.
Count with me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What is entry number 14?
Down. What's this?
Page 86, left column, entry 14. Your word. Thank you so much, Fran. No, you're so mad at me now. Big hand, Fran. Thank you so much. It's amazing. Oh my gosh, my golly. And not every word not every page says down. That's very important to note. One of my favorite things about magic is this unknown, is this mystery. It's this whole idea of it's kind of like life, right? Because a lot of life we haven't quite figured out yet. There's all these mysteries, all these secrets that we think a lot of times if only we knew what was going to happen before it happened, kind of like a magic trick. We'd be able to understand it. We think that understanding would make us be able to enjoy it. But as a famous magician in the magic community once said, Daryl, he once said that life is like magic. The longer you try figuring it out, the less time you have to enjoy it. Easier said than done. Much easier said than done. Which is why I decided for this next piece to capitalize on this whole idea of mystery. I opened today using a box. It was a box that I did my first magic show with. I'm still using boxes now, slightly different types of boxes. We have big boxes and little boxes, but what we're going to start off with here with this next piece is using this box. There's something special inside of here for one of you. And what's going to make this so interesting is we're not going to open this box until the end of the show. So it's sort of like this manufactured mystery. We don't know there is something inside. In fact, there's a couple things, there's a few things inside, but we're not going to open it just yet. We could easily find out if we just opened it, but where's the fun in that? So let's see, Fran, you helped us with this piece last week. You just point to anyone else here. Point to anyone else here. Someone you know, someone you don't know, doesn't matter.
This woman in the front with
The woman.
hat.
So this is Robin. This is Robin.
Robin.
Also a magician. So this is an important thing to know. I know like half of you, which is very rare coming to Brattleboro. I didn't grow up here, so this is very, very exciting. Is it okay if we use Robin, who is also a magician, or would you prefer, as an audience, in the democratic method, prefer to use anyone else for this piece? I leave it up to the audience. You want to use the magician, sir? Yeah. And your name, sir? John. And John says we're going to use the magician. Robin, you'll notice there's a box with a combination lock. Just make sure that the combination lock does not open. It's not set on the combination right now, so if you tried to open it, you couldn't open it. Is that correct?
Right.
There's another thing we're going to use, another manufactured mystery. It's an empty envelope. We're going to place something inside of the envelope in just a moment. Will you please hold on to the envelope for now?
Certainly.
Thank you. And your name again?
Dot.
Dot, yes, Dot. What we're going to place inside of the envelope is a playing card. Now, we talked a little earlier about powerful cards. Ace of Spades is a popular card. Queen of Hearts is a popular card. These are all considered to be powerful cards because they're the emotional cards. Ace of Spades, card of death. Queen of Hearts, the card of love. Very strong emotional attachments. Instead of just thinking of a card based on our preconceived notions or based on our past experiences, Robin, you're going to just choose a card at random.
Okay.
Even if you choose one of the emotional cards, it was a random choice and not deliberate. Make sense?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the cards face down, just like Rob did a little bit ago. He just pointed at a card. You're just going to point at a card face down. Was that this one?
Two underneath it.
Two. So not that one, but this one here?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure you're happy. Are you happy with that choice?
Yes.
Robin, here's what's going to happen. Robin's going to go home tonight, and she's going to go into bed, and she's going to be tossing and turning. She's not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Oh.
Because she's going to be thinking about me. It's true. It's true. Robin's going to be wondering, what if I had chosen a different card? Do you want to keep this card or choose a different one?
Different one.
Oh, she's throwing me off. No, everyone else sticks with it. All right, choose a different one.
Right there.
This one right here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
You happy there?
I'm
She's happy. You may take the card, but do not look at it. Do not let anyone else see. You're going to place it inside of the envelope.
Okay. Can you tip that envelope down? So
All right.
This way, so I don't see it.
So again, you could have had a free choice of any one
So
of
you don't
these.
want me to look at it?
You're not going to look at it. In fact, what we're going to do, we're going to seal it up. All right? All right? And I'll let both of you hold on to it. Just make sure that I don't get to the envelope. Make sure no one else gets to the envelope. Make sure no one else gets to the box, because this is a manufactured mystery
Sealed. Okay. All right.
that we'll reveal the meaning of this at the end, but we'll just keep that for now. So this is one of my favorite parts. Okay, well now we've seen some comedy. I thought it was funny. We told some jokes. We've done some magic. I've told you some stories. We now come to one of my favorite portions of the show. This is now the musical portion. This is where I'm going to play for you folks some songs on my saxophone. I've been playing the saxophone for, I can't do math in my head, I don't know, I think it's something over 20 years. And I was talking to Susan before the show. She's a clarinet, Kathy is the clarinetist. Is Susan here yet? I know there was a Susan coming. She's not here yet. But Kathy is a clarinetist, so you understand the power of music. The power of music. When I was a little boy, even before magic, I would say my first true love really was music. And I would do magic. I would do magic tricks, but really I was fascinated with music. I'd always be found banging on Tupperware, humming songs, singing songs. My word for music when I was a little boy was Nino. You know how kids make up words? That was my word for music, was Nino. So my way of singing, I'd sing Nino, Nino, Nino. My parents thought I was crazy, which was probably true. But I was very happy when it was just after my 9th birthday, my parents bought me a saxophone. And this was my favorite instrument. I had never played it before, but I had seen the instrument. I don't know if it was the sound or if it was the way that it looked, but I really wanted to play this thing. My parents were reluctant at first to get me a saxophone because my brother played the drums. My older brother played the drums for a month. Never touched them again. They were reluctant to give me a chance to pursue my dreams. But thankfully, they let me pursue, and I've been playing for over 20 years now. So in honor of my parents, I'm going to play some songs that are meaningful for me, but also songs that, as I grew up, songs that have a lot of meaning as well, as I do play these songs. As you came into the theater, you should have been given a piece of paper and a pencil. I am interested to know what songs are meaningful to you as well. I've compiled a whole bunch of songs from some past performances. I was at UMass Amherst last week and performing for a music fraternity. I have a number of songs from then. Sugar Magnolia. Oh, Grateful Dead. Thankfully they put the band. I would never have known that one. Stand By Me. So these are all songs that are meaningful to them. I was also at the Florence Community Band Christmas party a few months ago. And so I have some songs in there from them. I'm going to add your songs to this list as well. And we're going to choose one in a moment. But just think of a song that's meaningful to you now. Maybe it's a song that was meaningful to you as a child. Maybe it's a song that reminds you of your childhood. Maybe it reminds you of a special someone. Whatever it is, just write down the name of the song. If it's an obscure song, also write the artist, the person who perhaps performed it or sung it, just so that we have an idea of what the song is. With that in mind, I'm going to perform the very first song that I memorized. Someone turn the music off. Some music playing. I have the best sound guy in the world. There we go. It's a one-man show, but here we go. Known under two names, depending on the lyrics, I suppose. Greensleeves, or What Child Is This? Greensleeves was my father's favorite song, and when I was a little boy, to coax me into practicing, he said, if you learn this song and memorize it, I'll give you $5. So every time I played it, I expected to get $5. So if anyone wants to give me $5, if all of you want to give me $5, think about it. All right, so that's a very meaningful song. This next song is a song that my brother Stephen taught me. My older brother Stephen, 15 years older than me, he played electric bass in a traveling blues band, Ed Vadas and the Fabulous Heavyweights. Oh, yeah. Perhaps some of you have heard of him yet. Junior, my brother's name was Junior in the band, and so they would tour all over the place performing, and I would only really get to see him at the holidays. Because he was always traveling. He was also older than me, so I didn't really grow up with him, but I just idolized him. I thought he was the coolest brother in the world, much to my other brother's chagrin. But I remember one year he came home and he taught me this next song. Thank you. I just realized there's a theme: green sleeves, pink panther. The next song isn't colorful, but I wish it was. how are we doing on the writing down of songs? Did everyone get to write down a song? Everyone got to? Okay, I'm going to play a couple more songs for you, but I'm going to collect these because we're going to choose one of them to isolate. Let's see. Come around and. Thank you very much. You can fold them if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Oh, that's okay. Russ doesn't like music, right? Thank you very much.
We got one coming here.
Take your time. Take your time. That's okay. That's all right.
Long titles.
It's a long title. Okay. All right. We'll give them a little mix. You know what? Let's see. It was John was the voice of the audience when we asked if Robin should be the one to hold the box. You didn't get a chance to write down a song, so I figured you would be the one. You'll choose a song. All right. I'm going to come back to you. This makes it fair, I think. I'm going to come over to you there. I have another envelope, just like the one that Robin has. This one has a G clef written on it, a symbol of music. Nothing inside the envelope, correct?
As far as we can see.
As far as it's pretty dark over here. We'll leave the envelope there. You can just reach in and pull out any one song, but don't look at it. Don't look at it. Just sort of place it inside of the envelope without looking. And then you can close up the envelope. You can put the envelope in a pocket, just somewhere where I can't get at it, where Fran can't get at it. Perfect, perfect. All right, I have some more songs for you folks. There's so many songs I could play, but I guess I'll cut to one of the songs that I wrote. This is a song that I wrote 2.5 years ago. It was the summer of 2014. And this melody just came to mind. What happens is I can't carry my saxophone with me everywhere I go, so I oftentimes have an alto recorder. I have one in the car, I have one by my bedside, I have one, it's probably one of my magic cases, so that if a song comes to mind, I can just put it instantly to notes, so I can write it down later. So this song came to me that summer, and it was the day after I wrote the song down. My father died, and so it was. I now associate that song with my father because the song itself, if you listen to it, I'm going to play it in a moment, but it has sort of this sweet, happy quality, but also a kind of other remembrance sort of quality too. So, for lack of any other name, I hadn't named it yet, so I named it in honor of my father. I call it "Song of My Father." I think I'll play one more song for you folks before we get back to some of the magic. And this is classic saxophone piece. This is perhaps one of the more popular saxophone solos. I mentioned the Florence Community Band a moment ago. I had performed with my act for them a few months ago. But a lot of the members from that band are in the Belchertown Community Band down in Massachusetts, of course. And I used to play with that band. This is one of the songs, one of my favorite songs that I used to play with them. And I certainly hope that it's indicative of how you folks are feeling with all of the jokes, all of the magic and the music that has put us all in the mood. Remember I was mentioning that this show is an ever-evolving show? That table's usually over there. It's throwing me off. All right, do we still have the box? We still have the box locked? We still have the card inside of the envelope? And we still have the song inside of the envelope? We're going to get to those in just a little bit. But before I do, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of my friends. I'm friends with lots of magicians in the area. Robin is a fellow magician. But I have other magicians who have gone off to do other related arts. Other than just doing magic, they also now have gone to things like sideshow school, where they learn how to do sideshow freak type acts. And one of my friends, a man named Rich, he went down there and he learned the art of sword swallowing. So I thought, inspired by my friends who are off doing other allied things, that I would try my own hand at this art of sword swallowing. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Sword of Death. Ooh. That was right on cue. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to swallow this sword. If I'm successful, I'll take a big bow. I'll continue with the show. If I'm not successful, please call 911. All right. Drum roll, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. One moment, please. There we go. Thank you.
That's me.
That's amazing. Yeah. I'm not crazy. Gotta practice. Gotta lead up to this stuff. You know. I didn't really swallow the sword, just to be clear. Because I've never actually swallowed anything that big before. As I understand, what they do in sideshow school is they don't start with using big swords. They'll start with things like sewing needles, or not sewing needles. Knitting needles. They'll straighten out wire coat hangers, and so it's thinner, you know. So that goes down well. So the key is to start small. That's true with anything we do in this life. We don't just start off by putting on a big show. We start small, doing small things. So I'm going to do that same stunt for you folks again, but this time starting off with something a little smaller. Something like this time, sewing needles. Let's see, let's go over here. What's your name, miss? What's your name?
Moi.
Yeah, moi.
Cheryl.
Moi Cheryl. That's a fun name, moi Cheryl. Cheryl, would you mind joining us up here for a moment? Let's give Cheryl a nice big hand. Cheryl. You may come right this way. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Do you like my home?
I do. Yeah. Well, it's a little simple.
Yeah, you know, I need to get some more pillows or something, you know, some curtains, some more
But
curtains.
you've got some color here.
Yeah. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to place the needles inside of this little glass. Anything inside there?
Nothing inside.
Nothing inside. You can hold on to the glass. You're going to make sure that each needle is a real, it's not like made out of rubber or that it's a dull, but don't hurt yourself, but just make sure it's real and just put it pointy side down inside of the glass. Is that a real needle?
Yeah, that's a real
A
needle.
real deal. Make sure this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just take any needle you like. There we go. Have you ever done this before?
Well, I've done needly things before,
You've
but
done-
not this one.
Needly things. I wonder if that's in my book. I don't know. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to sort of bunch them all up. So we're going to make sure they're all in a row right there.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and do this all at once. I'm going to use my juice. Juice. Let's see if we can fill it a little bit higher. There we go. That should do it. My job is to drink the needles. I like how it's purple. It matches your outfit. Did you
Yeah.
notice that? I did not do that on purpose. But you've done a fantastic job. That was all you need to do. Make sure the needles. So, thank you very much.
Yes.
very much. I love the earrings match and everything too. The earring, everything matches. The earrings, the needles, the coat. I should have got a tie. I apologize. I wasn't thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to perform the needle swallowing trick. I should note, do not do this at home. Do it at the Hooker Dunham Theater. Rental rates are affordable. All right. Drum roll, please. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down to you folks. Anything inside the glass?
Nope.
Anything inside my mouth? Other than my tongue and teeth?
Nope.
Nothing hiding in there? Ladies and gentlemen, the needle swallowing trick! That's amazing. Some of you are like, that's disgusting. But don't worry. For my next trick, to make the needles come back, it takes about an hour. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. That would be gross. So now, surviving the needle swallowing, this next piece it sounds more dangerous than it is. I mean, certainly swallowing needles, swallowing swords is far more dangerous, but this next piece was so dangerous the first time that I performed it. This was back in 1998, so almost 30 years ago. I performed a version of this at my high school talent show. This is 100% true story. There's a video of this up on YouTube. I put it up there because I was just so...
I saw it.
Oh, you've seen the video. I'll tell the story, and then we'll do the demonstration. This involves a nail. Now, the first time I did this, I did not use a nail. I'll tell that in a moment. I'm just going to come down, have someone just make sure, just like we checked with the needles a moment ago. Actually, we'll even have moi, Cheryl, make sure that this is a real nail. Make sure it's not like made out of rubber. It's not a dull. You wouldn't want to stomp your foot down on there.
Right, yeah.
You wouldn't want to, it's the real McCoy. So again, the first time I did this, I did not use a nail. I used something a little different. I had a number of test tubes. I had, and each test tube was filled with water. And each test tube had the water, except for one test tube did not have water. The last one had hydrochloric acid. So the thing with hydrochloric acid is it's colorless, it's odorless, it looks and smells and just like water, but it certainly doesn't taste like water. So the idea was that I had these test tubes arranged on the table. I had a member of the audience come up and mix up the test tubes, and the idea was for me to drink from the test tubes, drink from all of them, leaving the last one, of course, being the one with the acid. That was the idea. Now, in today's presentation of this, I'm not going to use test tubes with acid, because that is incredibly dangerous. Instead, I'm using bags with a wooden block placed into each bag. However, the last bag will not have just a wooden block, but it's going to have our friend, the nail, sticking up through the wooden block. So each bag now has the same approximate weight, and my job will be to smash each bag, of course leaving just one bag left, the bag, of course, the one that has the nail. That's the idea. So, now, of course, this is very easy to do because you just saw me place the wood blocks into that and just avoid this bag. However, to make this a little more dangerous, a little more exciting, I'm going to invite one of you to mix up the bags for me. Now, we had moi, Cheryl, just a moment ago. Will you just point to anyone else here, other than the cameraman, and other than, this gentleman over here. What's your name, sir?
Bill.
Bill, ladies and gentlemen, give Bill a nice big hand. It's Bill. Come right up here, watch your step. Nice to see you.
Nice to see
Are you
you.
enjoying the show?
Very much, thank you.
That's my favorite answer. Thank you. I really opened myself up for that. They always say just, simple questions. I like to dive deep.
Yes, I know, you could
Thank
be
you,
more
Bill.
profound with me if you really want to.
Oh, I will. And I
Oh,
will.
all right.
Here's what's going to happen, Bill. I'm going to show you what you're going to do in a moment, because I don't want you to get hurt.
Thank
Right?
you.
So you're going to lift up 2 bags at a time. Just change their positions. Any 2 bags, change their position. Again, I have insurance. I don't want to have to use it. That's what I'm trying to say. You're just going to give them a mix. And you're going to keep mixing until I tell you to stop. Do you have any idea which bag has the nail at this point?
I think that one over there.
You think so? Okay. Want to make sure that Bill doesn't know which bag has the nail. Because I want to make sure that this is as random as possible. Because it's sort of like with Robin a moment ago. She chose a car not based off of things she knew, not based off of preconceived notions or past experiences. She chose a card at random, right? We're going to do this experiment, random, right? Do you know which bag has the nail?
No, I don't know.
Okay, very good.
Unless I would have my own act, which case I would.
Are you a magician too?
No.
Oh,
But I'm a friend of a musician over
oh,
there.
are you friends with Robin?
Sure.
Oh my goodness! You see, everyone knows each other. This is great. So again, any 2 bags, change their positions. Just keep doing that until I tell you to stop. You may come right behind the table.
Right.
And yes, you may start now.
Okay.
As Bill mixes up the bags, I'm going to finish the story about the first time that I performed this. I was in 8th grade, so I was 13 years old, and I had the bags, or the test tubes in this case, mixed up. I went behind the table and I started, I picked up 2 test tubes and I drank one of them. And on this particular day, very first time I ever did this, the first one I drank had the acid. So it was also the only one I drank. So I immediately knew something was wrong. Water isn't supposed to fizz in your mouth. So I ran off the stage. I had water back there. I was guzzling water, trying to get the acid out. And I had a wireless microphone on, so people could hear me running around yelling, saying, "Get my mom." So, the best part is, everyone thought it was part of the show. Because they thought, oh, of course, didn't really drink the acid, but it was. I ended up in the hospital for a week. I was on a feeding tube, which was just as well, because I couldn't eat solid foods, and it was just as well because I couldn't taste anything. The acid ate away my taste buds. Thankfully, they grow back. But the best part about this whole story is that from the experience, it whitened my teeth. I don't recommend using that as a method, but it is something to try. Bill, how are we doing?
Pretty well, I think. As far as I can tell.
I think you've been doing a smashing job. Do you know which bag has the nail?
No idea.
No idea. All right, we're going to trade places. You're going to come over this way.
Okay.
I'm going to come over this way. And now, on the first time I did this, again, I used acid, water, test tubes. This is safer in that if I mess up, then I'm not going to die. But I will have to go to the hospital. So, but to make this even more interesting, again, we're trying to make that connection. I am not going to choose the bag that I smash.
Ooh.
I'm going to use someone that I trust deeply. My new friend Bill.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to trust me.
Well, you have an honest face. You know a magician, right?
Oh, yes.
So I feel, hopefully, I mean, this is around the, middle of a little farther than the middle. So I think we have a connection now.
Okay,
You will want to keep me safe.
I do.
We have bags 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just name any bag, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
3?
So, so bag 3.
Yes.
Bag 3. Thank you. The first one's the easiest, because the odds are in your favor. But now we're down to 3. We have bags 1, 2, and 4. I just realized I should have specified. if bag 3 was the safe bag or the bag with the nail. You must have, I don't know, I should have, I get nervous doing this. So we have bags 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Which bag is the safe bag? That's what we're gonna do from now on, the safe bag. Which bag is safe, 1, 2, or 3?
Want me to choose the bag that's safe?
Yeah.
How about 2?
So not 1, not 3, but 2. You think 2 is safe?
Guessing.
I need to be confident in your
Oh, yeah.
choices.
Trust him.
What's that?
Trust him.
Oh, trust him, trust him. Hey, you know, if it doesn't work out, I'll put it on your bill.
Thank you.
Oh.
Put 'em-
I write all my own jokes, as you can tell. Bag 2 is the safe bag. He's the sound guy again. Actually, that reminds me, this is so much more exciting with the exciting, intense music.
Oh.
Let's give it a try. Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. And then, Bill, there were 2.
No.
This is where it doesn't get very, very easy anymore. We have bags 1 and bags 2. We're going to change things up a little bit, though. Which one do you think is the one that has the nail?
Oh.
Is it bag 1 or 2?
Bag 1?
So you think bag 1 has the nail?
Guessing bag 1.
Guessing again. I suppose at this point it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Either way, the show's going to be exciting. All right, so if I smash this one, you think it'll be a bad day.
Yeah.
Smash this one, we can go on with the show. We can open the box in a little bit. We can find out what's going on. But this one, not so good.
Not so good.
How sure are you?
I'm sure you want me to be.
As sure as I want you to be. Okay, I want you to be very
You
sure.
want me to be very sure?
Yeah.
All right, so I said that bag 1 has the nail.
Yeah.
Okay, so bag 2, no nail.
So just like Robin, you're gonna go home tonight, toss it and turn it.
That's right.
What if you change your mind? You want to stick with this as the safe bag?
Yes?
All right.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
All right. Here we go. Just in case, I want to shake your hand. Thank you. You did a wonderful
It's been
job.
nice knowing
It's
you.
been fun. Thank you. It's been fun. Thank you for lending me a hand. All
It's
right.
the last time you'll see that hand.
I hope. Oh! Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Bill, for keeping me safe. I sincerely appreciate the help.
Oh!
We're on the hugs too now. Oh my goodness.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, me too. Please be careful on your way back. One more hand for Bill. You really nailed it. Who said that? I love you guys. I really do.
Stop for time. Changing battery.
All right. Well, folks, we come to that very special part of the show. We've had the book that Fran used a little while ago, but we're also going to use a book, the sequel, which is Just Know That. I'm going to read this poem first, because this is the happy poem. This is the one that, I have my bookmark inside. Conveniently also my business card. Pick it up in the lobby. Here we go. This is a poem that a mountain told me. It's called On Top of the World. On top of the world, a gentle blanket rests over weeping rocks, and a butterfly dances erratically by trees fallen by fists of wind, revealing what was once hidden. My heart so longs to feel what moves butterfly wings, but can feel only you, beautiful spring flowery bloom. For you, my sweet, make my heart flutter and soul sing. It matters not if tomorrow you wilt and wither away, for behold, you are a promise of summer and a blessing for today. So for now, my dear, let me adore you. Let me say I love you. Hold my hand, my love, and I will hold your gaze, melting in your smile's embrace. And if tomorrow is our fall into winter, you will forever bloom in my heart, a heaven sent filling my soul. Behold, it is you, my beautiful, my sweet, my dear, my love. It is you that brings rocks to tears, by fists of wind carrying melodies that move butterfly wings. You are the one that makes my heart as gentle as that blanket on top of the world. It's a true story. A mountain told me that. I was at Skinner Park in the Holyoke mountain range when the mountain told me that poem. It's also a poem about a woman, just to be clear. I'm now going to tell you a poem from my first book. It just happened the other day, a true story. This is another poem about another woman. Because aren't we always inspired by love? The most powerful card in the deck of cards. Right? Now, before I tell you this poem, I'm going to tell you where I got this one. Again, this is a poem that I wrote inspired by really a few things, not even beyond this friend of mine. I was inspired by a TV show. I was inspired by a day that I went to a church service and I had an experience there, so it's based off of that. But it's also based off of a very personal experience that happened with this friend of mine. I'll tell you them in order. The first one was a TV show. It was Scrubs, the TV show Scrubs, it was season 3, episode 14. I remember it because it's 314, the pie episode. And in this, if you've never seen the show, it's hilarious. It's very inspiring for its comedy element, because the same episode that you'll be in pain from smiling and laughing so much, in the same episode you'll be in pain from sadness and from crying so much. It's a very powerful theater that they put together on this. This poem is partially based off of that episode, season 3, episode 14 of Scrubs. The other experience was around that same time that I saw that. I went to a church service, Hope Church in Amherst, Massachusetts. Hope stands for Heaven on Planet Earth Church. I'd only been there a couple times, but I think it was my first time there. Very profound experience, because it was one of the parishioners, it was their birthday, so they brought her up to the front of the room to sit in a chair, and one by one, people stood up to say a memory that they had about her, or to say something nice about them. And it struck me that it was very much like a funeral. The only thing is that she was still alive, so she got the benefit of hearing all these nice things about her. So I really got this profound sense, this feeling that at the end of this service, we would put her into a box and carry her outside and bury her in the ground. Now, of course, we didn't do that. That would have been kind of like a magic show. But that got me to think. And again, based off of my personal experiences, based off of that TV show, that story, that experience at the church tied into me finding this poem. And the last experience was an experience I had with a very dear friend of mine. Again, the most powerful card in the deck, the power of love. And it's where, isn't it the downfall of every man and every woman is love? And I knew it was love because I was 16 years old and I never felt that way before. So what else could it be, right? It had to be love. So I remember the day I mustered the nerve to ask Stephanie to go to the winter semi-formal with me. This was a big deal because I never asked anyone to a dance before. So to ask Stephanie to the dance, oh, that was a huge deal. And she said yes. And the day finally came. It was Friday, December 3rd, 1999. And we danced the night away. It was such a wonderful night. She wore a beautiful blue vest. Being a magician doing allied arts, I'm also a balloon sculptor. So I made a corsage out of a balloon. That it was blue and matched her dress. I'm a hopeless romantic. She loved that flower. And I remember early on in the evening, we were sitting down in some chairs along the wall of the darkened cafeteria at the high school. And we were resting. And it was while we were sitting down, the first slow song of the night came on. And I desperately wanted to dance with Stephanie. But I hesitated, because who am I to ask Stephanie to dance? Yes, she's my date, but I never asked anyone to a dance before. How am I going to ask Stephanie to dance with me to the slow song? So there I sat, mustering the nerve to ask her to dance with me, and there she sat next to me, waiting for me to ask, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, walks up this other guy. Oh, I love you, Bill. and he asks Stephanie to dance with him. And I'm thinking, who does this guy think he is? Freaking Chris. I remember his name, of course. Chris. Freaking Chris. And she said yes. So there they went off dancing. And I just sat down, just on the sideline, just mumbling, grumbling to myself, kicking myself, thinking, why couldn't I just ask? Why couldn't I just do it? And I'll always remember, after the song ended, Stephanie came up to me, and she said to me, she said, Jonas, if you want to dance with me, all you have to do is ask. So inspired by this encouragement, it must have been maybe a week or so later, I don't really remember now, but I finally mustered the nerve to tell Stephanie exactly how I felt about her. And I asked her if she felt the same way. You know what she said? She said, Jonas, we're just friends. But I told Stephanie, I said, Stephanie, that's fine, as long as you're still around, as long as we can be friends, that is truly good enough for me. So for the next 8 years, I got busy doing I'm a very patient man. I realized that the secret to patience is just doing other things. So I got busy doing, what they say, you have an inner purpose and an outer purpose. Inner, love and being, outer, the things that you do. I got busy with my outer purpose. So I practiced my magic act. I practiced my saxophone. I went to workshops and lectures. I went to school. I dropped out of school. And I worked on my act. And I went to networking events, giving my business card into the hands of people who were decision makers to really work on this dream of mine of doing my magic and my music. And all of this hard work paid off when it was, again, 8 years later, I got a phone call from NBC. The producers were working on the first season of a TV show called America's Got Talent. And they were looking for variety acts to perform on the show. And I just knew instantly, this is a talent show, so I knew that just getting on the show, even if I didn't win the talent show, that this is what I needed. I had been operating up to this point. Being on that show, I could now be at a whole new level. I was so excited. I got my best trick. I hopped on the train. I headed for New York City, and I got into this line that wrapped around the block several times. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited some more. I'm a very patient man. I'll even wait 8 years if I have to. And all of a sudden, before I got to the end of the line, they shut down the line. The producers closed the line, but they gave everyone passes to go back the next day. But I never went back the next day. And I didn't go back the next day because I had something more important that I had to do. And that something more important was I had promised Stephanie that I would drive her to the airport. She could have gotten anyone to drive her to the... Of course, I didn't tell her that I was missing the most important opportunity of my career just to drive her to the airport. She would have refused the ride. She would have gotten someone else, anyone else to give her a ride, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to be there for her. She was more important than any audition, than any magic show. She was more valuable. And I'm so happy that I put my values in order because it was the following summer, the summer of 2007, Stephanie came to me and she said to me, she said, Jonas, I'm in love with you too. And she said, you know, why aren't we together? And it was the happiest moment of my life, because I had worked so hard on this outer purpose. I had everything that I wanted all lined up. But now I had the woman of my dreams too. I had the job of my dreams, I had the woman of my dreams. That summer, the best summer of my life. We very quickly got engaged to be married. And so that weekend, it was Labor Day weekend, we celebrated by going to Lake Winnipesaukee, in Laconia, and oh my goodness, so she had never been on go-karts, so I took her on 27 years old, she had never been on go-karts. I took her on the go-karts. She had never been to the drive-in movie. I took her to the drive-in movie. We went rock wall climbing, we danced, and oh my goodness, we danced every chance we could. And then just 2 days after we got back from this most amazing weekend of our lives, very quietly in her sleep, she passed away. And she just didn't wake up. There was no warning for it. And I thought that I was going to die too, of a broken heart. And when I didn't die, I turned to alcohol to do it for me. And it was probably about 2 years later, after this, I woke up one morning still half drunk from the night before. And I found on my desk a perfectly typed suicide note that I had no memory of writing. And I thought that if I could do something like that and not even know it, what else? With that as a backdrop, that's how I came across this poem. That's how this poem came out of me. I just remember the morning that I got the news. I went over to her house, and I sat down in the love seat that just days earlier we sat together in. And my entire body was numb. You know how if you sit down wrong, you lay down wrong, it feels like needles sticking inside of you? My entire body felt like that. And all I wanted to do was to get those needles out of me. So I did the only thing I knew how to do, and that's continue with my arts, and that's where this poem came from. Everyone was gathered around today with the sun shining through leaves of the dell. It was beautiful, what more can I say? We gathered to honor you, to pray for your journey on, and to say farewell. Well, everyone was gathered around today. As they all spoke of you, I looked your way. You were smiling with a love we know well. It was beautiful. What more can I say? I became confused. I thought that I may have been dreaming it. Then I heard the bell. Everyone was gathered around today. I looked to you, but you had gone away. A rather lone box lay where the leaves fell. It was beautiful. What more can I say? Just a dream. This is your funeral today. I miss you more than I can ever tell. I miss you more than I can ever tell. Everyone was gathered around today. It was beautiful. Nothing more to say. It's a true story. It just happened the other day. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that section. It's a magical life. What can I say? One of the amazing things that I found is, we talked again about it is a magic life. It's not that it was a magical life, but that it is. So if things keep changing, everything moves on. That's the thing that we always find, is that nothing is ever for certain. But the only thing that is for certain is that there will be surprises. You will be surprised. After going through all these experiences now, this was 10 years ago this year, trying to work through it, I tried something new, anything new, sort of like we're doing today. I'm trying some new things, like Rob put this out with a new thing today. It was something new, something we had never done before. So one thing that I did to try anything new, was to heal from this experience, was I got rid of all of my things. I sold my car, I gave most of my things to the Goodwill. The only thing I kept was the clothes on my back and my bicycle. Actually, there's a few other things I kept. I'll tell that story in just a moment. And I headed for California from Massachusetts. It turns out this was a terrible decision. It was something new, it was something different, but it was terrible because I hadn't been on a bicycle in a while, and it was November. I may be a patient man, but I don't plan very well. So what happened, after just a few days, and I only made it to Connecticut, I decided I wanted to go home, but I didn't have a home to go home to. You see, I had given up my apartment, I had given away all my things, I didn't have even a job to go back to, but the thing that I did have, the most powerful card in the deck, I had love to come back to, of trusted family and trusted friends. I stayed with a very close friend of mine for 6 months. He let me sleep on his living room floor. I have to know, he offered me a bed and a bedroom. I had said, hey, my whole life I've been sleeping in beds. It's not working out. I'm not saying the beds are the problem, but this is something new, something different. I put my wallet in my other pocket. So it's just something new, something different. So I got a job working for the Springfield Symphony Orchestra as the musical petting zookeeper. Who does that? I tried something new, anything new. I got a job as a substitute teacher. Turns out if you do magic tricks, they love you. I got a job as a pizza delivery boy. Just last year, I opened up a little art gallery in my hometown because why not? Something new, something different. But you will always be surprised. We can have anything we want in this life. As these books we're talking about, right? We will achieve happiness, we'll achieve sadness, but along the way we will have surprises. And that's why after all of these years, even after everything that has happened, this piece here is still perhaps my most favorite of all. Now, Dot, we were just talking to you a moment ago. You're still holding that envelope, right?
Yes, I am.
Dot, you're going to take a look at this dollar bill.
Yes,
You can hold it, make sure that is a real dollar bill, make sure that's the real McCoy.
it is.
That's the real deal.
Yep, it is.
So it looks like a dollar, right?
Yep,
It looks like a dollar, feels like a dollar,
Yep.
because it is a dollar. But this dollar is much more than just a dollar. You see, it's what the dollar represents. You see, the dollar bill represents our dreams, our hopes, our aspirations, everything that we've ever wanted. And I am living proof that whatever you want, as long, and I'm sure many of you are, if you want it hard enough, and if you're willing to work for it, you're willing to ask for it, then you can achieve anything. So when we dream, we have to dream big. So Dom, if we could dream big, what might this dollar bill be?
what might it be?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. Oh my God.
What does that look like, Don?
It looks like $100 bill.
You
to
you
me.
may hold the $100 bill. Make sure that it's the real McCoy. Is that a real $100 bill?
Yes. Oh my word.
Oh my word. Oh, thank you, Bill. Thank you. Don, I like you, so if you leave with nothing else, it's not going to be this. I also need to get paid. It's going to be this thought. As real as this is, it is only our dreams. And yes, we can achieve anything we want, but nothing ever stays the same. Everything moves on and everything changes. Because in the end, our dreams will not make us happy. Because in the end, things will go away. Where happiness is found, it's in the moments in between. And all the people that we meet along the way. And how they make us feel.
Yeah.
All of you make me feel good. How do you folks feel?
Oh, good.
Oh, that's my favorite answer. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the final story of the evening. At the end of the story, we will get to open up the envelope and the box. This artificial mystery. We could have figured out what's inside there a half hour ago. Did anyone try and get inside the box, Robin? Oh, people tried to get inside.
Bill was, I had to keep an eye.
Yeah, but I couldn't do it.
Bill was on top of that thing. He couldn't open it. That's a combination of it. We're going to open it in just a moment. But before we do, I have this last story. And this is the first time I'm telling this story in this show. Even though this story I'm about to tell is what inspired a lot of this show. And it's also especially what inspired what's inside of this box. But I've never told the story before because, for one, no one ever believes me. They don't believe that it really happened. They think I'm making it up. Which, of course, I'm a magician. I suppose that's plausible. But also, the reason I don't tell it usually is because I thought the experience perhaps was just for me. It was something that I needed to experience, I needed to hear, I needed to see. But the few people I have told this story to have encouraged me. They say, no, you have to tell this story in the show. So it's a brief story, but it's going to hopefully make sense as to what's inside of the envelope and perhaps what's inside the box as well. Just after the bicycle ride days, after I spent 6 months on my friend's living room floor, I made a living out of house sitting for friends and family. People would go on vacation, they would go off on a work trip, I would go to their house, watch their house, take care of their cats, take care of their hamsters, whatever the case may be. This one day, my friend Kat, she joined the circus. And because I have crazy friends like that. And I stayed at her house, tending to her cats. And it was during this time, it had been more than 6, it was probably 8 months after this whole bicycle ride incident. And I was in a good place because I came back to nothing but love. And during that time, I had been changed, I had been transformed. I was having more good days than bad days, but I was still having the occasional bad day. And this one particular, it was August of, what was that, it was August of 2010, was the summer after the bicycle ride. I was having a bad day. Oh, excuse me, summer of 2010. And when I have bad days during those days, I would get mad at life because life wasn't what I thought it was. Life wasn't what I thought was going to be. Things were ripped from me. I was very upset. So I started getting rid of even more things. I remember I gave away most of my things, but there were a few key things that I kept, things that were very personal, very meaningful. You know, old love letters, or, some key photographs of people. And there's this one particular thing that I kept. I still have it today. It's one of the only things I have from that day. It was a sealed box of playing cards, a blue box of playing cards. And it was sealed, but it was empty, except for one card. And I would shake it. I could hear there was one card inside. Now, the way I came across this box was, it was probably 2 years earlier or so. I went to a Walgreens in West Springfield to buy a whole bunch of playing cards, because a lot of times in my magic shows, cards will get destroyed or give them away, so I go through cards a lot. So I was preparing for a run of shows that I was doing. And so I bought a whole bunch of the cards in bulk. They come in boxes of a whole bunch. And I got them home, and I was opening up the boxes. And I found this one box inside, this blue box, sealed with one card inside. And I thought, well, this isn't going to help me for my magic show. I need to I can't do a card trick with just one card. So I was going to bring it back to the store and say, I need to exchange this. But then I decided not to, because it was a man-made mystery. right? Just like the card inside the envelope, right? I could very easily figure out what was inside of this box by opening it up and finding out what that card was. But I liked the novelty of the box. I liked not knowing what the card was, even though I knew what card it was. I knew what card was inside that sealed box. And the reason I knew, with a faith without seeing, was a blind faith, because that summer that Steffi and I had gone to Lake Winnipesaukee, I performed a card trick for her. I asked her, just choose any card. So like I asked Rob earlier, I said, choose any card. And she chose the 3 of clubs. She said it was her favorite card because it's lucky number 3, got the shamrock, it's a lucky card. She wrote a little message on there. She wrote, "I love you," because she's sweet too. And I did the trick with, I forget what trick I did exactly, but she used the 3 of clubs. So in my mind, this was now, I had this box all of a sudden. This was 3 years after the fact, after doing that card trick for Stephanie, and I knew that if there's more to life than I think there is, and if life is going to have a purpose, I believed it was a 3 of clubs because I needed it to be the 3 of clubs. I needed that card in that box to be the 3 of clubs. I didn't want to destroy my faith by opening the box, by peeling back the plastic and opening it up, because that would destroy me. I was already very fragile. But on this one particular day, the summer of 2010, a sea of good days surrounded. I had this one dark day. I was getting rid of even these precious things, throwing away these love letters, throwing away these pictures. I came across the box. I was so mad at life that I whipped it across the room. And I laughed. I remember laughing. I said, it doesn't matter anymore. Before I threw it away, I said, no, I'm going to destroy my faith right now. I opened up the box. And I didn't even have to take the card out. I could see that inside of this blue box was a red-backed card. Which is weird. This is a blue box. Usually you have blue cards, and there's a red-backed card. I didn't even take the card all the way out, because that alone was striking me. It arrested me. I just took a little peek at it. And you know what card it was?
3 of clubs.
It was the 3 of clubs. And that made everything okay. All of a sudden, I was having this terrible, terrible day. That made everything okay. In that moment, I knew that I don't know what life is about, but I know it's not what I've been told, and it's not what I think it is, but there's something going on here. I don't know what it is, but I knew that everything is exactly how it needs to be. So I tell you this story, not to make you to believe me, because most people don't believe me. I promise you, it is what I'm still holding this box that's not there. Because I'm curious to find out. Robin, earlier today, chose a card and placed it inside of this envelope. This is something I don't usually do in the show. Again, this is something new. I would love it if that card that you chose at random, I would love it if that was the 3 of clubs. That would just make my day. You don't even know what card you picked. You had a free random choice. You even changed your mind, right?
Yeah.
Please open up the envelope. You can take the card out. And what card is it? It's not the 3 of clubs, but that would have been. That would have been amazing. It's quite the build-up, though. Well, thank you very much, Don. Thank you very much, Robin. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Here's your envelope.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was just disappointing. But that's why we have the box as the backup. Please, Robin, if you could bring the box up onto the stage, we'll finish with what's inside. Here, let's give her a nice big hand. I'm going to come around this way and place the box here. I was hoping it would be the 3 of clubs.
Me too.
I was really hoping.
So was I.
I have not opened this box since I gave it to you. Bill tried to open the box, right?
But you wouldn't let me.
Robin would not let you open the box because you don't know what the combination is, right?
Yeah.
It's a 3-digit combination. I will tell you the combination. So it starts over with the digits over here. So that's the first one, middle one, and the far right is the last one. The numbers are 5, 2, 1. You may turn the dials to 5, 2, 1. Once you get them onto 5, 2, 1, do not open it, but just get the numbers there. The reason I chose these numbers is because remember what I said about it was I've been doing this show for 10 months. My first performance was on May 21st, 5, 2, 1. It was my graduation day. It was a magical day. I did this first show. I graduated from college after 15 years. So we have 5, 2, 1, the magic numbers. All right. Now I'm just going to unclasp it. Right? I'm not going to open it just yet because I'm going to tell you what you're going to find in there. There's a few things, but the thing on top there, this is the secret, Robin, to all the magic in the world. Inside this box is the cause of all world suffering. Ooh. And yet it is also the solution. You're going to open the box, but you're not going to take out what you find. You're not going to tell us what it is. You're just going to think about what you see. You're going to look inside of what you see, and you're going to think about it. You may open the box now. Do you understand what you see, Ron? What do you see? Or perhaps I should ask, who do you see?
I see myself in that box.
She's a very small woman. She sees herself because she is the cause of her own pain, and yet she is also the solution. She is her own worst enemy, and yet she is also her own best friend. I'm gonna open this now, and you see it's a mirror. It's a mirror. Okay, thank you. Philosophical moment of the day. But there's a couple more things inside. You can open up the box again. You're gonna take out the next thing. It's a piece of paper. Let's see. This is chapter 19 from my book. It just happened the other day. It's the chapter Good Night from September 4th, 2007. I finished my 8-mile jog. I'm a jogger, by the way. I know I don't quite look like it. But you'll see it's torn from a book, right? You see,
yes.
Now the first word on this page is chapter. However, the first word on this side is, what's that word?
Down.
Down. Fran, was that your word from earlier?
That was the word.
From the book, you had a free, right? And not every page of the book says down, right? Remember, we have mystery, we have wasn't, we have chapter. What page was that? What page? It was page 78. Let's go to page 78, and you'll see page 76, page 79. Wait a second. There is no page 78 in this book, because this page comes from this book. Fran, verify. Is that the page you saw earlier? Is that the same page?
That's the same word that I saw.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fran, the avid reader. Oh my gosh, my God.
Amazing.
Yes, that's amazing. But there's one last thing inside the box. There's one final thing. If you could take that out, please. Give it a little shake. You can hear there's something inside there. How many cards would you guess were inside that
One.
box? There's only one. Give it a little shake again. Let's just take a little peek inside. What do you see inside that box?
A red-backed card.
The only red-backed card inside the box. I can see it now. What card did you choose a moment ago?
Jack of spades.
Jack of spades. God bless.
Oh, wow.
Let's hear it for Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a sincere pleasure performing for all of you. I'd like to thank the Brattleboro Community TV for being here. I'd like to thank everyone who helped out. We had Dot, we had Juan, Cheryl, we had Fran, we had Rob and Robin, and John, I almost forgot. John helped us out, but he's holding on to something still. He's holding on to something. What are you holding on to, John? He has an envelope. I say envelope. You say envelope. Tomatoes. Will you please come up here with that envelope? I almost forgot. This is like the big finale. This is the big moment. The big moment of the day. Yeah. John, you didn't get a chance to write down a song, but you did get a chance to choose from everyone's song, right?
Yes.
So if you could, now, did you see what the song was?
No.
You didn't see what it was. Now, interestingly, over here I have a record. It's been sitting here the entire evening. Perhaps you've noticed it, wondering what's going on with that record. Wouldn't it be interesting if the song that you don't even know what it is, but would it be amazing if that song was on this record?
That would be amazing.
Oh, amazing. Would you please open up the envelope and let's see, what song did we choose?
Would you like to see it?
Oh, yes, please. This little light of mine. I like that song. Well, John, you believe me that this record has the song "This Little Light of Mine" contained within the grooves. Do you believe me?
I'm skeptical.
He's skeptical, just like Fran. It's like it's possible, but it's not probable. Now, if you could read the grooves, I assure you, it's "This Little Light of Mine." Now, I can prove to you that it is in fact "This Little Light of Mine" because we have a record player right here. Ooh, the plot thickens. If the song on here is John's song, all of this applause will be for John. If it's not the song, please applaud anyway. It's just good all around to be nice. We'll place the record on, and actually I'll let you do the honors, please, John. So you can place the needle onto the record.
It's probably been 40 years since I've done that.
Yeah.
Has a good beat. Ladies and gentlemen, John, thank you so much for
That's amazing.
That's amazing. You folks have been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for coming to be a part of It's a Magical Life. Each performance is a little bit different because I have different people here, and also we do a little bit of different magic. I tell slightly different stories, so I'd love to see you again. The next performance of mine here will be a different show. It's a show called Magic in Memoriam, a show that honors the magic masters of the past who have passed on but still influence us today. That is here at the Hooker Dunham on April 23rd. It's a Sunday at 1 o'clock. But I'll be back here again the following month on May 20th for a performance of It's a Magical Life. I also have some dates at the River Garden for the brown paper bag lunches, so please check the schedule for that. No nails. That's a good point.
All the drinks will be spiked.
No, it's a spiked drink. This is I need you to write my joke for me. Remember, life is what we make it, of course. So go forth, make your lives amazing, keep on being awesome. I hope to see you all next time. Thank you.
Come on. But I will. I probably would appreciate it. Oh, really? Yeah.
Nice to see you, Russ.